So here we go, fam. It's been a while since I've busted one of these out. It's just gone 11, as we can see. It's just gone 11. I've just got back from a session. I trained with Stu, one of the lads I helped with his diet. And it was a sick session, man. Upper body. I'm about to crush some food. But I'm going out tonight. We're going out for some food. It's Amelia's dad's 50th birthday. Look how sick this cake is. I've just come home. Amelia's had this made for him. Got his dogs and that. Absolutely sick cake. So, unfortunately, I won't be having a massive amount of that tonight. I've always said that I'm not much of a cake. The last few years, I've always said I'm not much of a cake person anyway. That's just good habits. But in reality, to be honest, I could happily sit there with a knife and fork and just eat a lot of it. Obviously, I need to keep food relatively low today, especially fat, because I'm going out for a steak tonight. So I'm probably just going to have some cereal and a tin of tuna, and I'm going to make my protein ice cream. So loads of protein, and I'll have one Kit Kat as well. But then it's only 11 o'clock, and that will probably tide me over to like 4 or 5 o'clock, where I'll have a little bit of food before I go out for dinner later on. I need to do a little bit of an update. Obviously, I've done my way in. I took some check-in pictures. So I'll show you them. Here we go, guys. My super exciting post-workout that you've all seen a million times. So we got 60 gram of Wheatos, a Kit Kat, tuna, my shake, almond milk, and oh my god, he's eating a Kit Kat. He's having chocolate when he's supposed to be dieting. Well, guess what? Guess how many cravings I have? None. Guess how many times I binge? None. Do I want to have a cheat meal every single weekend? Nope, never. Do you know why? Because moderation, a couple of these, do the trick. So I'm just going to have a bit of a talk now about what's been going on the last few weeks. How come I haven't put a video out for so long? I've been meaning to, but I think because the last few sort of struggled with views. Like my first few were amazing, to be honest. I was getting like 500, 600, 700 views, and then the last few I've really struggled. So I haven't been pushing them as much, so it's kind of my fault. But I wasn't sure if people really give a shit, and because there was 100, 200 views sort of thing. But, so it's been a bit off-putting, because I'm not sure if anyone's watching them, but when I actually think about it, and there's 100 odd people watching them. Another thing which has massively made me want to do another video is a few days a week I'll have someone message me asking me a question or something, and they'll say, oh, it's because I've watched your video, or because I've done this and it's massively helped, it's changed something, or it's sparked. I had someone message me about the good and bad carb video the other day, and he said, oh, it was a game changer for him. It's going to change the way he looks at food. So that's how I need to think about this. I'm doing these videos. It's a bit of a tricky one because I really enjoy doing the vlogs, trying to make them more fun. But at the same time, it's the good information that's going out, and is what is actually helping people. So hopefully this topic will help quite a few people. I think you'd be surprised. Everyone's heard it. The whole protein farts. All that sort of shit, like always having protein shakes. Everyone starts training and always having protein shakes, so he's going to stink and all that crap. Basically, I want to talk a little bit about digestion. So I've actually got to the point in my diet where I've been struggling a little bit. The other night I noticed eggs. I was having some egg whites and it really bloated me out. I really noticed it. It made me feel like shit, but because I had a few different things on my plate, I wasn't sure what it was. So what I always say to people is, if you're having some food and afterwards you're getting bloated, or even if you start dropping your bat after a meal or something, there's probably something in that meal that doesn't agree with you. It could be as simple as something like broccoli, or your body goes through like life cycles. So just because you used to be able to eat something, a few years down the line doesn't mean you'll be able to carry on. One thing that is actually pretty bullshit is the gluten-free thing. there's very few people that are actually gluten intolerant. Well, that's a lie. There's shitloads of people that are gluten intolerant, but the majority of people that talk about having their gluten-free oats and their gluten-free pasta really don't need to. But one thing that is really predominant and lots of people have, I think I heard stats like this, don't quote me on this, but like 1 in 3 or 1 in 4 people, when they start getting a little bit older, they start getting lactose intolerant, so they start having trouble digesting milk. So milk is a big one. So if you're having some milk and so on, if you simply swap that to lactose-free milk or almond milk, literally within like 24 hours, you'll start feeling the difference. Personally, I'm lactose intolerant, but funnily enough, only a little bit. So if I have milk, like 200 ml of it, stomach is right off. But I can still have some cheese, and I can still have like whey protein and so on, things like that, because the lactose content and the amount of milk in them is actually really refined and much less, not refined, but a lot less basically. So if you are having any issues with bloated or anything like that, it's likely, don't just accept it and think it's just the norm, because if you have got these issues, you won't be getting as good progress. So make sure it's like trial and error, and you have to sort of, if you're having a meal, let's just say you have lunch, and you have 3 different things in the lunch, you chicken, broccoli and some bread, then the next day, if you think it might be the broccoli, remove the broccoli, try the meal again, so on, things like that. It's all trial and error. Then this is how you learn your body basically. One last thing with the egg whites, I had a little look into it, and it looks like, apparently, I'm no gut expert, so I'm not going to try and sound like I know what I'm on about too much here, but I had a little look, and it looked like a lot of people have problem with eggs and other certain foods. Egg whites in particular is when they've got an issue with their gut. It's like your gut lining, it's called leaky gut. It's where the egg white protein leaks through like a gut wall. So what you need to do when you have things like this, you start taking in good bacteria. Glutamine as a supplement is also known to help. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start taking some glutamine, and I'm going to make, I think I might start getting some like little yogurts or something. Haven't looked into it too much. The little Actimels and so on, they're not many calories, so just pop in one of them in the morning. I'll have to just sacrifice a little bit of oats or something and have one of them with my breakfast, and hopefully I can heal my stomach up, because I don't want it to affect my progress at all. So I've got 3 weeks left of my cut, and I realise I haven't give you guys an update because I haven't been getting the videos like I spoke about. So I'm going to wait until tomorrow morning, get a little physique update on the go over my cardio and my macros and my diet, what I'm doing. It's currently 10:30, no food or anything yet. So this is how we're looking. On an empty stomach, flat. Try and get a decent angle for you guys. Front relaxed. And I've been practicing my vacuum every morning, so breathe all the air out. Watch me like sebum soon. And that's how we're looking first thing in the morning with 3 weeks left to push. Dial off. I woke up this morning with a new low of about 176.5 pound. So if I can knock another 4 or 5 pound off, I think, don't get me wrong, I'm not going to be shredded, but I'll be very happy with the condition. It'll be perfect base for me to start my off season when I get back from Thailand. Right, so I've just finished up some cardio. I thought, eating out last night, I better come and get a little bit in, so I've done an extra 30 minutes today just on the Stairmaster Ironworks. So, update, I've got 3 weeks left and I want to start making, I've been on the same numbers for 3 weeks now, I believe. My cardio's changed, but my food hasn't. When you coach yourself, it's always easy to second guess yourself. When I'm coaching clients, you have all the data in front of you and so on, and you can just make decisions, and that's what it's all about. Being a good coach is just being able to make good decisions. But when it's yourself, like, I've got all my history of what I've done in the past, so I know all the errors and mistakes I've made. I've always struggled how to try and put this, but basically, I wrote it, I was thinking about it on the way to the gym yesterday, and I knew I wouldn't remember it, so I wrote it on my phone. So basically, if you dig when you don't need to, like drop your calories and start adding a load of cardio in, then when you do dig, when you do decide to drop calories or add extra cardio in, then it's much less effective. So you're not going to get as much bang for your buck, basically. So you don't want to be constantly dig. It's really easy when you're dieting to just want to come in, because at the end of the day, when you know the process, I've got experience. So when you know food going low, doing loads of cardio, yes, it is going to work. You are going to drop weight, but it will affect your long-term progress and affect other things like muscle, like how much muscle you're losing and so on. So I'm trying to keep this video short. So basically, my numbers at the my food numbers for the last few weeks have been, I've been on 200 protein, 250 carb and 60 grams of fat. I'm going to drop 10 grams of fat out down to 50 gram, and I'm also going to drop out 15 gram of carbs down to 235, so that's 150 calorie drop. So my new totals are going to be 2,190, which when I typed that in and worked it all out, it seemed quite low, but what I have to remember is I'm only training 3 days a week. I'm not doing masses of cardio, I'm doing 25 minutes each morning, which probably will be increased, but this is going to be my last drop. In the past, quite a lot of my preps I've run like low days and high days, so basically 2,200 calories, and that's not counting veg and a few other things like monsters. It's pretty good, to be fair. I'm pretty pleased with that, especially since I'm only training 3 days a week. So training isn't huge, but each session is probably 200-300 calories extra as well. So I'm very proud, to be honest, of how things have been going, but I've got 3 weeks now to push, and I really want to see some cool changes. So yeah, my new numbers are 200 gram of protein, 50 fat and 235 gram of carbs, which I'm not really going to notice. I'm going to drop, I already know a few things I can drop out. So 3 weeks to go. My cardio is going to remain the same on 25 minutes of intervals, 5 days a week. And next week for the final 2 weeks, I might just pop that out to 30. But I'm not going to push things, because the main goal of this is, yes, to drop some body fat so I'm in a good place to bulk again, but I need to maintain as much muscle as possible. Because the second I start losing muscle, it's going to slow down fat loss, and the whole idea is for me to keep improving. So I told you about my shitty digestion I've had this week, my bloated stomach. I've just been for a walk into Solihull to meet Amelia and to get some steps in. And I was looking at the yogurts in Sainsbury's, but they've got lactose in, so that wouldn't have helped my stomach at the same time. So I've gone for some sauerkraut. I used to use this stuff quite a lot. It's really good quality. This one is from one of the little health stores in Solihull. So I'm going to add this to 1 or 2 of my meals each day for the next week, and hopefully some of the good bacteria in it will help my gut get back to normal. So if you've got any digestion issues, you think you're suffering from anything similar like I spoke about earlier, try some sauerkraut, some yogurt, glutamine, all these little things will help.